Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Actually, it's kind of not, but I'm going to cut straight to the chase. A bunch of you guys have been asking me for updates on this. So, 2.5 years ago, July of 2022, myself and my buddy Paul, my good buddy Paul, were robbed. Smash and grab, these people took, there was 3 of them. These people took roughly 40 bing bangs, smash and grab type thing. I'll show you a little bit of the clip. Broke the windows out, stole a bunch. And these weren't a bunch of rinky-dink cheap stuff. A bunch of these are big money ones, like Desert Eagles, BFR. The list goes on. Like I said, roughly 40 bing bangs were stolen from me and my buddy Paul. A lot more so him. But here's the timelines of it. 2.5 years ago, these 3 guys broke in and they were caught within 24 hours with a majority of all of those still on their person. So that morning, the police and the 3-letter people that start with an A showed up, and they were given a detailed list of everything that was stolen, all the serial numbers. One in particular of those bing bangs was a Savage Axis, I think they call it their Muddy Girl, it's pink camouflage, 7mm .08. And that's how the police told us that they identified the robbers, because they had the list. Oh, that pink one, that sticks out like a sore thumb. They saw them unloading it, took that. It's been so long, I think they were loading them into a motel or something, they said. So they busted those 3 guys within 24 hours of the robbery. So you would think it would be, okay, here's the serial numbers that we got from them. Here's the ones that were stolen, we captured from the criminals. Hey, here you go. Here's your stolen goods. No, that is not what happened. Again, guys, this is 2.5 years ago. First, before I get to the rest of the story, let me just roll in some footage from the day after and just kind of give you some footage of what happened and stuff they took. Be right back. Down there on the ground is the window, and you can see how skinny those bars are. I'd say somebody'd have to be, that's almost, there's my hand. They'd have to get their hips through there 18 inches or something. This is where they came in and came out and just took everything. So they had to be some kind of skinny crackhead to get through that window. And then coming in, they cleared out all the handguns. Cleared out. Nothing in there. Busted a bunch of the glass, nothing in there. Took stuff out of here. They took something out of there. They took stuff off the wall. Cleared out this whole case. There were some more bing bangs up here that they took out. This box, they took everything out of there. And then there was a whole bunch of extra stuff even back behind that they took and took for too. Desert Eagle was in there. A BFR 350 Legend was in there. All gone, and took out that little skinny window. So that was the clip right there of the smash and grab, the empty cases, the glass everywhere. I mean, just absolutely terrible. And again, you would think it would be as simple as, here's the list of what was stolen, detailed serial numbers. It's not like, oh, it was a blue thing and then there was a blue thing. These are serial numbers. There's not another one in the world like it. There's no way that we could have had all those serial numbers and guessed them. Oh, here you go. These were yours. This is what's stolen. No, first off the bat, they said, oh, we need this as evidence until the trial. And then they said, oh, we need them until all the sentencing is done. And every single one of these guys had a different court dates, so on and so forth, dragging on. It took 1.5 years. Don't quote me on this, but I believe 2 of the guys, by the time they were sentenced, they had already done their prison time for like 1.5 years. And when they were sentenced, they were pretty much let go because they did all their prison time in prison waiting to get sentenced. And then the third guy, again, don't quote me on this, but I believe the third guy is out of prison as well. So the three guys that robbed us are already out of prison, running the streets, and they didn't just rob us, they robbed several other people in the Nashville area. They're already out of prison, but they won't let us get our bing bangs out of prison. The biggest crock in the world. And what I really want to do is just drop names, and here's the departments, and so on and so forth. Here's the phone numbers you need to call. Here's the emails and the names of the people. So we could just blow up their phones and their emails. Because they're dragging their feet, and they don't want to help us. But I'm so afraid of retaliation at this point that would just make them mad, and we would just never get our stuff back. Like I said, this is a lot of money involved. I'm not nearly as taken as my buddy Paul. Like I think I said earlier in our video, it was just a couple CZs, and maybe 3, 4, 5 of mine was mine. The rest of them was all Paul's. So the biggest way you can support us right now, hey, just subscribe to the channel. I'll have all my buddies' channels down below. Subscribe to them, watch some videos. That way help us out in the biggest way possible. Now, a lot of people are going to comment, why don't you just get a lawyer? I don't know if you guys have ever hired a lawyer, but the cheapest lawyer I've ever met is $250 an hour. So by the time we paid lawyer fees, that would cost more than what we could just go buy all new stuff with. So, and that would cost a fortune. So that is pointless to call a lawyer, because a lawyer's going to charge us at the end of it more than all the stuff would even be worth. So it's just a big mess. And on top of that, there's another squirrely thing that happened, part of the story. So I had some CZs that were stolen. Well, on the paperwork, I had doubles of 2 CZs. And on the paperwork that we gave the police as a stolen serial numbers report, we accidentally swapped one of the serial numbers, where I had one here, and we put that serial number on the stolen report when I had the matching one with a different serial number that was stolen. Well, we had the wrong serial number on the report coming from the books. So I went to sell that CZ to the pawn shop. It immediately got flagged in the system or whatever. I don't know how that stuff works on the interwebs. And the cops went to the pawn shop and took that CZ and took it back to their completely different police department. And you know what's squirrely? The police never contacted me. You would think, oh, there's a stolen bang bang. We should investigate that. We should call the guy. We should go to his house. I sold it. It was like 3 months. Nobody ever came after me. Nobody ever called me. I had to go to that police department like 8 different times, drive an hour away. Oh, we're not going to give it to you. Oh, that guy's not here. There's only one guy that can get into the safe and get that for you. Oh, you need to go have this paperwork and have this signed off. And oh, you got to go find the actual police officer that made the initial stolen report. Get him to print out his official letterhead from that department. Get him to sign it. I did all that. And even after I got all that paperwork, somehow, even when they told me the guy would be there, the one guy who has access to the evidence locker, it took me 3 months to get it back. And during those 3 months, like I said, not a single person investigated me or looked into that stolen CZ, period. So I would assume if a stolen thing gets popped up, we know who sold the stolen thing. 99% of the time the thing's actually stolen. It's not a mess up in paperwork like we did. Nobody investigated it was stolen. Nothing. So that's kind of really, like, stolen things aren't getting investigated. But anyways, back to I said the police identified the guys offloading all these stolen goods out of the car because of that pink one. Like, the cops literally, oh, there's the pink one. That's Hootie's and Paul's stuff. Let's grab them. Well, by the time they saw that, went in, nabbed them, took them to the pokey. Guess what disappeared? That pink one. So somehow in that short amount of time, somebody disappeared that pink one. So that's fishy too. But all that being said, now they're doing a bunch of stuff. Won't pick up the phone. Excuse after excuse after excuse, where it should be as simple as, hey, all this is done. Those guys are out of prison. You got the list on day 1 of all the serial numbers. You caught them within 24 hours. There's no more sentencing. There's no more blah, blah, blah. We should be able to drive down there with the initial report and all these serial numbers and say, hey, we're here to pick up our stuff. But that's not the case. The departments and the 3-letter agencies are making it more and more and more and more red tape, which, if I had to put my opinion on it and make my own assumptions, I would bet you a bunch of that stuff isn't even there. People have taken it home, it's been sold off, yada, yada, yada. I would like to assume that everything is done justly and rightly, but it's hard to believe that. The people should be, you would assume the people would be working for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put yourself in everyone's own shoes, right? Everyone has their own perspective, right? Sure, I mean, the cops, whatever, they got their policies they gotta follow. They're just doing their job at the end of the day. Well, if they put themselves in our shoes and they had 40 bing bangs stolen from us, this camera mount keeps falling on me. If they had 40 bing bangs stolen from them, don't you think they'd be trying hard to get them back? But at this point, 2.5 years down the road, the guys are already out of prison. We are pretty disheartened. But if you have some type of experience or expert opinion on it, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. But at this point, we're kind of at a standstill, and they're throwing a bunch more red tape at us, and it's a bunch of baloney. Like I said, the evidence is obvious, and it's all there and in plain sight to see. And they won't give them back. So like I said, if you got some expert opinions, or you went through this before and you got some secret ideas on how to get it all back, sure, we're open ears. Put it in the comments down below. Like I said, lawyers cost a fortune. But it's a bunch of nonsense when you can't get your bing bangs back and the guys are already out of prison that stole them from you. Isn't that a crock? But yeah, appreciate you watching. What helps us the most is if you're subscribed to the video, share the video. That's really what gets YouTube happy and starts sharing these videos, and they get all the views and they get the publicity, is watching the videos to the end and sharing the video to your friends. So YouTube says, man, this video's hot, they're sharing it. But like I said, all the channels will be down below. That would help us a bunch if you subscribe to. Appreciate you big time. We'll see you on the next one. I'll give you guys an update if we ever get any of this stuff back, but it's not looking too good at this point. But appreciate you subscribing to me and my buddies' channels down below. Like I said, I'm afraid to get too detailed on it or give out any more detailed information for fear of retaliation. Well, we'll just never get the stuff back. We still have a glimpse of hope. But yeah, appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!